Kristen Redman, and today we're going to go over the planetary aspects that are surrounding us and affecting us for this week, April 3rd through the 9th. And this week we have so much energy that is about looking to the past, and in various ways we have that thanks to a few retrograde cycles that are going to be hitting this week with Saturn, the planet of lessons and setting boundaries and structures. And, of course, Mercury, the planet of thought and communication, going retrograde at the end of the week. So a lot of underlying energies that connect very beautifully so with these energies as well, creating a bit of a week where we've got a little bit of tension, but also a lot of sunshine too, like this beautiful Aries day that I've got myself out in, filling myself with the rays of the Aries sun. And this is the beginning of the astrological year. This is when springtime hits for all of us, but also for astrology. The wheel starts again, and so does Aries. The energy it carries is about setting new paths and getting to new beginnings, and I think we're all focused on doing that now. And new beginnings, of course, come from endings, don't they? And this week we're going to be looking back at a lot of endings that we have gone through over the past couple of years, and just ending to cycles that we find ourselves repeating that are no longer in our best interest. Like we finally got the nail through the head saying, gosh, this just doesn't work, does it? Right? Well, this week we got a lot of thought process going on with that, and it's going to start on the 6th, which I don't have the actual day written down. I want to say that's probably Wednesday, when Saturn goes retrograde. Saturn is our planet, like I said earlier, about setting boundaries and structures. It's the teacher of the zodiac. And whatever it touches, it kind of makes us go through these lessons that aren't necessarily fun by any means, but they teach us something in the long run and ultimately bring us a great blessing in the end. And so this week that planet goes retrograde, and it starts on the 6th and it goes through until mid-August. And what that really entails in that time frame is that the universe is telling us through Saturn that success is ours as long as we can buckle down and tackle any unfinished business that has been plaguing us. Okay, Saturn is a planet that wants to set things in motion, but it wants to make sure it has a really good plan, and it wants to make sure that we stick with it and that we are very logical in the process of doing it. Okay, so if you can do that in the Saturn time frame, really figuring out these new boundaries that you want to do, success is definitely going to be yours. Now, because this is happening in the sign of Sagittarius, this of course is going to be affecting our Sagittarius friends the most. This is people that have a birthday in the Sagittarius sun sign. If your moon is in Sagittarius or your rising sign, your ascendant is in Sagittarius, you're going to be feeling this a little bit more so than the rest of us. But for all of us, we've all been feeling kind of constrained as Saturn has been touring through Sagittarius since 2014. Sagittarius is a sign that's ruled by that giant planet Jupiter that likes to break free of boundaries. And of course, Saturn likes to set them. So it's kind of like this constant conflict between the two since 2014. And as such, here on planet Earth, all of us are feeling that as well, that at times we are kind of constrained and limited in growing in the way that we want. We have all these amazing, wonderful dreams, which Sagittarius brings for us, but then Saturn comes in and kind of says, nope, let's find a logical plan and let's think of the best way to tackle this first. Well, now Sagittarius, everybody, let me tell you, is a great sign. It's about all of those things I said. Looking in the past and our dreams and dreaming big and all these wonderful things that bring us great opportunities. But luckily, Saturn is not going to be restricting us much longer there. Okay, Saturn's going to be leaving by the end of this year. By the time the year ends is when Saturn leaves, and we won't all be feeling so restricted. But in this time frame, we need to really look back at the past, right? In this retrograde until August, looking back at our past dreams. We're looking at things Sagittarius related here, so think of this. We're looking at our past dreams, whether they are waking or they are sleeping, how we want to expand ourselves, how we want to grow beyond those limitations that we set for ourselves, right? Let's look to the past to what our dreams were to get out of these tight spots, out of these limitations. Let's look at other areas of Sagittarius that we look back on in this retrograde time frame. Faith and spirituality our religious beliefs and our spiritual beliefs and how much we integrate them in our life. This is a time frame when we look back at that. What do my beliefs mean to me? What does my faith mean to me? How do I structure that around me? Because that's what Saturn's trying to do, right? It's trying to get you to look at that structure of faith that's around you. Maybe you're ready to switch churches. Maybe you're ready to switch faiths. Maybe you're ready to focus more on what your spirit says as opposed to what a general overall denomination would tell you to say. Whatever it is, this retrograde is going to help you find that clarity. Find that clarity for sure. Now, another thing, too, in this Saturn retrograde, we're going to be looking back to the past with other areas that Jupiter does to us. And on the shadow side, what Jupiter and Sagittarius will do is they kind of tend to make us get a little overconfident, right? Thinks that we can do a lot more and take off and bite off a lot more than we can really chew, okay? Because Jupiter's such a big and optimistic planet, sometimes a little too optimistic. So we're going to be looking back to the past where we overcommitted ourselves, where we were a little bit overly optimistic and unable to really fulfill our end of the bargain here. Those types of things are going to come back into key, or where we have gone into excess, okay? Maybe we excessively spent money, maybe we excessively ate food or drank too much alcohol, or all of these things where our excess has gotten the better of us are going to be called into question as Saturn goes into retrograde and then ultimately wants us to set new boundaries, teach us the lessons that come from that, not only to set these boundaries, but to set these things into motion, okay? Now, when this retrograde ends in August, it's going to be around the same time frame as the most massive eclipse that we have seen since 1998. On August 22nd, we're going to have this amazing eclipse. And eclipses bring new beginnings, but this one's extra powerful this year. One of the biggest astrological events for the coming year. And what it focuses on is new beginnings in the area of what makes us happy, getting the appreciation that we deserve and the recognition we deserve, but to ultimately get the happiness we need, okay? So we look to the past with all these things in Saturn, and how cool is it that it's saying, okay, I've already recognized where my dreams are, how I want to grow myself, where my faith is at, how much faith I have that I can do these things, and what I optimistically can do. And then we go ahead, and that eclipse brings through the energy to bring those new beginnings in immediately as the Saturn goes direct. So, got some months to look over that, right? Ooh, that was a lot talking about Saturn. Go Saturn, okay. Woo! Now, another thing, too, that Saturn is going to be doing this week, as soon as it goes into its retrograde phase, it's going to be meeting up with yet another retrograde planet. It's going to be meeting up with the retrograde Venus. And this is one of those last aspects that retrograde Venus this year, another one of our major astrological events, is going to be enduring before it goes out of its cycle on the 14th of April. Now, what happens with that is this is a chance for us to really look back with a fine-tooth comb on those areas where we have not been very structured in the areas of love and money, where things aren't balanced, where we need to balance those scales. And ultimately, this impact that happens this week, it's going to last for a little bit, and this is the second time it's happened this year. It's going to bring a little bit more tension and struggle to the forefront, and we learn those lessons that come with love and money. So it may create a little bit of tension this week in those areas. Just kind of look out for that. But no, a lot of it, yet again, has to go with looking at the past, with how we deal with those things. A couple other things that are going to be, well, I guess, we're going to go to the next one here. And the very last retrograde thing we've got going on is that Mercury, our planet of thought, goes retrograde on, I do believe this will be Sunday, on the 9th. And it's going to be retrograde until May 3rd. Okay. Now, when Mercury, the planet of thought and communication, goes retrograde for the 3 weeks, does this 4 times a year, kind of does the same with us in terms of our communication. We're a little bit backwards, right? This is one of those things that most anybody who doesn't even understand astrology knows that when Mercury is retrograde, it's generally a bad time. And why they say that is because communication just breaks down. Phone calls don't go through. Our conversations don't really get heard very well with the person we're trying to talk to. Phones don't work. All these things with Mercury retrograde. And it's also known for a bad time for signing any kind of contracts or signing any kind of agreements. Things that where you literally have to sign your name on the dotted line. And it's not that they necessarily will fall through. It's just that they may not be on the best footing possible. in that time frame while whatever it is that you're signing for is yours. Okay. It just kind of puts it more into an area where it goes into the unknown, as opposed to if you were to sign a contract for a home or sell a home or a vehicle, whatever it is, right, that you're signing your name for. If you did it when Mercury was not retrograde, you'd have a little bit better chance of it being a successful time. But you sign it during retrograde, and maybe you won't be able to keep up with the payments, or maybe something will fall through and that house will not work out, or But beyond that, beyond the bad part of it, so let's look at the positive side of a Mercury retrograde, and that's going to be that this is a time for looking to the past, right? Looking to the past for how we do communicate with ourselves, with others, how we think, how our thought process works, okay? With this being in Taurus, this is a time when we really think about our logical thinking. Where have we put our logical thoughts in the past? Where should we have thought a little bit more logically? Our mind is going to be squarely focused on our money, okay? Especially since we've still got Venus, the planet of money, in retrograde too. This is just going to be a real strong time where we're looking to the past and trying to put some new plans in motion for that. So we're reviewing the past, we're trying to reclaim the present, and we're researching ideas for the future in the areas of love and money and our physical body, okay? Taking better care of ourselves and making the changes necessary if we need to get the ball rolling, okay? Mercury retrogrades 4-9 to 5-3, just so you know. But now another underlying current that's going to be happening this week is that Pluto, our planet of transformation, is kind of like the undercurrent for everything this week. It sees us looking to the past, and Pluto, of course, is a planet that transforms things. So it's always kind of waiting in the wings this week, saying, okay, I know you're looking to the past, and I know you want to change it. Let me help you. So the two planets that are going to be helping Pluto this week do so are going to be the Sun, that Aries Sun, like I said right now, that's inspiring us for new beginnings, and also Mars as well, which is in the sign of Taurus as well. So it's a very motivated planet that gives us our drive and determination to get things done. Okay, both of those planets are going to be aspecting Pluto, helping with those transformations, helping us to really try to see how to make things change. The thing with Pluto is it's not just little tiny changes, it's massive changes. This is where something literally has to end to bring a new beginning. This is where an old phase is just, it's outdated, it's outgrown. The Sun's going to shine a light on that this week, and it may be through some sort of power struggle, it may be through an argument. Regardless, you are going to see what needs to be changed to lead to these new beginnings. And of course, Mars making that harmonious connection with Pluto this week is going to help us to have that desire and ambition under us to really try to start working on just the process of thinking of how to change these things. Maybe not necessarily acting, because we've got so much retrograde stuff going on this week. Maybe it's just a matter of thinking and planning and trying to get the right ideas behind us to get these things done. So regardless, follow your intuition. It will never, ever guide you wrong, right? So this week for the reading, usually what I do is I pull a stone first, right? And today I did not, because this stone has kind of been sitting out since I went and did some readings the other night. And I took it as a sign today that I do believe this is actually the stone they want me to use. It's called an unakite, and I think it's perfect for kind of theme of the week, right? Unakite is a stone that looks to the past. It's really a good one for past life regression therapies to kind of see what energies we've brought into this lifetime from previous lifetimes, karmic patterns that we need to break. Those are things that may be coming to the surface as well this week through all this retrograde energy that's going to be happening. But so it heals with that. But it's also a stone that is green and pink. It's in the jasper family. Very healing. But because it incorporates those two colors into one, these are colors that heal the heart center. Okay, so this is known to be a stone that brings in unconditional love, and it heals that heart center, the area where giving and receiving energy comes through and it flows. So if we have blocks in there, we got blocks coming with either of those. So the unakite is a stone that's coming through. I feel perhaps it is probably Archangel Raphael coming through. He's known as the angel that heals anything, whether it's financial health, physical health, mental health, you name it. He's going to be the angel to do so. So let's call on him this week to see what kind of energy we got for this week of the past. All right. Archangel Raphael and this beautiful Aries Sun, new beginnings. What do you need to tell us this week? One more. One more. Maybe not this time. All right. Oh, how cool is this? So how perfect is that? We're talking about endings that lead to new beginnings, and this week the card is going to be the Ten of Air, and this card literally says this is the end of a difficult situation. Embrace the change and expect things to get better right now. And it may be in some instances for folks that are recovering from certain addictions to various substances. How interesting is that? That it pretty much sums up everything we just kind of talked about in this reading today. Of course, it's a 10 too, right? 10s are always in the tarot indicating an ending. Okay, that has to occur for these new beginnings to happen. We're looking to the past. We want to change these cycles. We need something to end, right? This week we got the energy behind us to do that, to break the cycles and help bring in some new things, because the difficult situation comes to an end, they say. Embrace the change. That's the hard part, right? Holy smokes, it's hard to accept change. But we will, right? Because you know that God's not going to lead you into something terrible. If you're ready to let go of something that doesn't work for you anymore, God's going to lead you to something beautiful, right? This Aries sun's going to shine the light, right? And those new beginnings and give you the strength and confidence to do it. So let's pull a little bit more here. Not just that, but what do they want us to keep in mind as we focus on these endings, right? What do they want us to keep in mind as we focus on letting some certain things go? Go into the light. Here we go. Aha! Sorry, let me move these cards. Miracle. It's a miracle. No, like I just said, okay, that when we have that capacity to let go of these things from the past, we let that energy go out of our heart center, that we can finally receive these miracles that are just waiting. By golly, they're waiting, but we have to let go of some difficult things. Is it a job? Is it a friend? Is it a spouse? Is it a relationship? Is it a car? I don't know. What is it? You know what it is, right? You know where the endings need to happen and where the new beginnings are going to happen. And they are assuring us this week that miracles come to those with the faith that waits. So, everyone, have a wonderful week, and thank you for watching. Bye.